necessarily. When you come to the spiritual light, it's because you are expressing yourself and showing your appreciation in some material form. Yet we can do the same in thought, and we can do so in through other actions that be very helpful and very expressive. Now, since the soul is located, and you can't dissect the body and then pick out the soul, you know that. The soul is located where the nervous system, you understand. The illumination all comes from the solar plexus. It begins there, you understand, and of course it enshrouds you, and we often can see the illumination when we make an effort to see it. You certainly don't walk around in the astral world where in an illumination you would look ridiculous, I suppose, because in the astral kingdom, in its many divisions, it's very similar to the material world, for you are the same identical individual. The illumination is only brought into manifestation, or it is in manifestation through the advancement of the individual, or the willingness to help people, or wanting to be an inspiration to the many you encounter. You thus become a messenger. If you be in the astral world, coming very close to the earth plane, you're doing good. You don't have to know that person to assist. You help all who need within your range of vision, and those you become aware who need that particular assistance. The word angel is the word is used so frequently among the religionists. It's a very beautiful word, for it portrays a particular picture of a being or an arisen person. And so when we refer to the angel of light, it is a very beautiful picture that you form, for you had seen pictures portrayed unto you when a child, and it has stayed with you all these years, and you've seen him in the dark light. An angel is an arisen person, and is a messenger who returns to the various divisions to assist suffering humanity, and gives forth light unto those in darkness in the lower astral regions that could be said for some of them to be highly temporal, for reasons that they're going to aspire to the higher after be inspired by the messengers, the angels of light. This is what many find themselves to do, in other words, to assist humanity, earning your way, of course, and learning, progressing in this light. And then when it is time for you to go in higher consciousness, you automatically then go into a particular plane of consciousness to be among your kind, your caliber, we might put it that way, step after step. And the illumination then, of course, is the indication of your spiritual awakening. For you are innately spiritual, even on the earth plane, as you know. And as you awaken the God kingdom, though that we are aware now of our being an integral part of the universal spirit God, now your existence in a particular kingdom that is above, of course, the divisions that we often refer to in the astral world, gives you an understanding then that you're there in that particular category, not because you had that, let me say in the vernacular, had a pull. Oh, certainly you can't bribe your way into that kingdom. You have to earn every step of the way, and by the same token, you have to earn every step of the way here upon the earth plane. But when you go into the higher kingdom, for having earned the right to be there among the angelic or the exalted, as you wish to call, then you find yourself there, for you are a part of that particular kingdom. You're a part of that particular group. It doesn't mean that you're going to be in that particular environment for a long period of time. It could mean that you're there to serve and to further your awakening for you are infinitely intelligent, and then go on to other planes of consciousness that will enable you to do greater work and to dig more deeply into these matters that concern suffering humanity, in addition to learning or coming to the awareness of the vastness of the consciousness of immensity. When one has the awakening, having sought in the metaphysical field, and having been reborn, not necessarily in an environment that enabled them to embrace occultism, for most certainly we are aware that the average person had been reborn in the Orthodox atmosphere, and that most of you had attended Sunday school of the various denominations. And this is all very wonderful, still wonderful today, even to attend all churches as far as that is concerned. When you come into this field of thought, that is, if you take the initiative after you have become an adult, although many of you are aware that there had been a particular period of your life when you were very sensitive and you had psychic ability and you had seen visions and have demonstrations, and perhaps you have been encouraged by those around about you, or it could be said that very few people during that time believed what you were saying, what you were told that you had seen. And probably this in itself would discourage you in furthering the understanding or the awakening. So many people are reborn in an environment, might say, to the contrary, and have many adverse conditions, many trying conditions, challenging conditions, although they are very psychic and they want to delve into what many people call the unknown. Yet they have brothers and sisters in that particular family who definitely want to go in the opposite direction, and they think they have a brother or a sister who is mighty peculiar for the way they talk, and they claim to see things, and they hear voices, and they tell strange things that's going to happen, and sometimes it do happen. But anyhow, it's a strange brother or a sister. And even the parents will often find time to scold the child for having told such foolishness, you might say. Now, this would discourage the person or the child, but when you look back, if it would apply to anyone, and when you look back then, it's a supposition here, and recall that the particular period that you had gone through that enabled you to see visions, but you hadn't seen visions or had any inclination of anything that would be out of the ordinary, and because you became so engrossed in material things, or you had your career or your profession to follow, and this, of course, would take you away from that particular phase that you had one time. So we have this to say, that many had suppressed, by necessity, we'll say, these powers or the desire to study in the direction of the occult. And then, too, you were not in an environment to be encouraged to take up the subject, and so you go on your merry way, we'll say, during the years. Then later in life, you come into this movement, or into the occult phase. Maybe it would be in the direction of metaphysics or philosophy of some kind. Gradually, you may then go back to the period when you were very sensitive, because you're basically sensitive,